We live in a world obsessed with speed. Everywhere you look, faster courses, 10x productivity hacks, learn this in 24 hours. But have you noticed something? The faster you try to learn, the less you actually remember. You spend hours watching tutorials, switching between tabs, taking endless notes. And still, when it's time to recall, your mind just goes blank. It's frustrating because you're not lazy. You're working hard. But somehow, the more you do, the less you retain. The truth is, your brain doesn't grow through pressure. It grows through rhythm. And that's where the science of slow mastery begins. In this video, we'll explore how to learn faster by doing less. Not by cramming, not by multitasking, but by understanding how your mind truly absorbs knowledge. We'll look at 5 powerful habits, all backed by psychology, that help you learn deeper, remember longer, and perform better, all without burning out. By the end, you'll realize that slowing down isn't a weakness. It's actually the ultimate learning advantage. Let's dive in. The law of focused depth. Here's something nobody tells you. Learning isn't about how much you consume. It's about how deeply you process. Psychologists call this deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. When you study one thing deeply, even for 45 minutes, your brain forms stronger neural connections. But when you jump between topics every few minutes, those connections never fully form. It's like digging multiple shallow holes hoping to find water, instead of digging one deep well. So here's a small change. The next time you sit to learn, pick one thing. One chapter, one topic, one skill. Then go slow. Take your time to explain it to yourself out loud, draw it, or teach it back to an imaginary audience. I used to read entire books in a rush, just to finish them. Now, I reread a single chapter until I can explain it without looking. That one shift changed everything. Because when you focus on depth over speed, learning becomes permanent. The power of strategic pauses. Have you ever noticed how some people can study for hours, yet others study for less time and still retain more? The difference isn't intelligence, it's pacing. The brain learns through cycles of effort and rest. When you pause, your subconscious actually consolidates what you just learned. Researchers call this the spacing effect. Information repeated over spaced intervals sticks longer than information learned all at once. Think of it like working out. Your muscles don't grow during the workout. They grow between workouts. Your brain works the same way. So instead of cramming 5 hours straight, try 45 minutes of deep focus followed by a 10-minute pause. Walk around. Close your eyes. Do nothing. That stillness isn't wasted time. It's where memory forms. Slow mastery isn't about doing less work. It's about doing work that actually sticks. The principle of simplified inputs in psychology, there's a concept called cognitive load. It means your brain has a limited amount of mental energy to process new information. And when you flood it with too many videos, notes, tabs, or ideas, you overload your system. That's why information overwhelm feels so exhausting. The solution is surprisingly simple. Reduce your inputs. If you're learning about productivity, don't follow 10 gurus at once. Pick one voice. If you're studying a topic, use one trusted source and master it before adding another. When you simplify, your brain starts connecting ideas instead of collecting them. It's like cleaning your desk. Once the clutter's gone, your mind can finally breathe. A neuroscientist once said, "The brain is a prediction machine, not a storage room, so give it space to connect the dots. Slow down your inputs and you'll speed up your insight." The art of deliberate practice now. Let's talk about the real engine of mastery, deliberate practice. This idea comes from psychologist Anders Ericsson, who studied elite performers, from musicians to athletes to chess masters. He found that greatness isn't about endless repetition. It's about intentional repetition, practicing specific skills, identifying weaknesses, and correcting them slowly over time. Think of it like this. A pianist who plays the same song 100 times without thinking doesn't improve much. But one who slows down, focuses on each mistake, and adjusts, improves exponentially. When you study, do the same. Don't just reread your notes, question them. Where do you hesitate? Where do you forget? Those are the places to focus your practice. Learning faster by doing less means giving your full attention to the parts that matter, not doing more, but doing better. The rule of reflective review: most people finish a lesson and move on. But the best learners reflect. Psychologists call this metacognition, thinking about your thinking. It's when you pause after learning and ask yourself, what did I just understand? What confused me? How does this connect to what I already know? Reflection converts raw information into personal wisdom. Here's a simple method. After every study session, write down 3 short lines. What I learned, what I still don't understand, how I can use this in real life. That tiny review, just 2 minutes, can boost retention dramatically, because when you reflect, your brain sees patterns, and those patterns become knowledge that lasts. Now think about this. How much of what you've learned this month do you actually remember? If it's less than you hoped, it's not because you're lazy. It's because modern learning rewards speed, not mastery. But slow mastery is about trust. Trusting that every small, mindful repetition is rewiring your brain in ways you can't see yet. It's patience made visible. Now, let's talk about a few things that can derail you. First, don't confuse slow learning with procrastination. Going slow doesn't mean waiting for the perfect time. It means being fully present in this time, with one focus, one goal. Second, don't let perfectionism disguise itself as patience. Some people spend weeks preparing to start. Real mastery begins when you engage, not when everything feels ready. And third, avoid overanalyzing every method. You don't need the best note-taking system or the perfect schedule. You need consistent, deliberate effort, even if it's just 1% better each day. So, to recap, learning faster by doing less isn't magic. It's method. Focus deeply on one thing at a time. Pause strategically to let memory consolidate. Simplify your inputs to reduce mental overload. Practice deliberately, not automatically. Reflect regularly to turn knowledge into understanding. These habits may seem small, but they quietly compound. Each slow, mindful session strengthens the roots of your learning. And eventually, those roots make everything else grow faster. If you've ever felt like you're falling behind because you're not learning fast enough, remember this. Speed means nothing without direction. When you slow down, you start to see. You notice what matters. You retain more. You connect better. And over time, that quiet focus becomes your superpower. So this week, try slowing down. Study for less time, but with full attention. You'll be surprised how much faster you grow when you finally stop rushing. If this helped you see learning in a new way, give it a like. Subscribe if you want more science-backed ways to improve your focus, memory, and productivity. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're going to slow down on this week? Because sometimes the fastest path forward is to pause.